Welcome back to another episode of the Vandy Blitz guys. We have had a lot going on in our lives as the semester is ramping up. We are all going to be in person soon. Theo and I are just the first ones to campus. We're actually suite mates, so that's why we're in the same room. But we're all going to be together shooting, not over Zoom soon, which is something we're all really excited for. To look forward to that. But in this episode, we are looking forward to talking about the Olympics, our thoughts on that, the United States' kind of legendary comeback in the medal race against China. And then we're also going to talk all things NFL preseason and NFL season preview. But first off, on the Olympics, do you guys have any overarching thoughts? What are your main takeaways from the 2020 Olympics that took place in 2021? I don't know why they called it that, but yeah.
Basically, democracy always prevails.
Yes.
Fuck communism.
Yeah, exactly. That is the takeaway, that all communist countries will always lose.
I would just say that the first time USA lost to France, I wasn't too worried. I just thought they had to go 95% and they were fine. Fournier played really well, got that contract with the Knicks, but
yeah, Ricky Rubio put up the most points anyone's ever put up against Team USA in this year's Olympics.
What it showed me was Kevin Durant is the best Olympic basketball player of all time.
Oh, that's facts. That's easily. Kobe Bryant could compete, but I think it's facts.
Kobe, funny how Ricky Rubio decides to go off in the Olympics and then is like,
dude, these guys they flip it into a different gear when they're playing for their country. I mean, they get into a whole Rudy Gobert too. He gets electric for playing for France, and that's why Fournier set some career highs today too. So
I do not see the US losing the Olympics anytime soon. Dude, I mean, just everyone else aside, the US has Kevin Durant, no one else has that. And it's just even JaVale McGee is better than most of the starters on some of these other teams.
Well, that's some facts right there, yeah.
I mean, the case is that's not just the case for basketball too. We were down in the medal race. China was beating us in golds and total medals for a while.
And we literally won with Simone Biles doing her whole little.
We were kind of hampered in some ways in this year's Olympics, and we still prevailed. And I'm just proud of America and especially Team USA. That was what I really watched in the Olympics, and kind of the track stuff. Wasn't super into all the gymnastics and diving, but just proud. Let's go. Good day to be an American.
Did any of you guys watch skateboarding at all?
No,
but I heard it was cool.
You guys watch baseball or no?
Some ballers.
No Olympic baseball?
So they did it this year because it was in Japan. So it was their sport.
Okay, I didn't watch Olympic baseball. That's pretty
cool. Who won though? Who won that?
Probably America. I don't know.
No. US wouldn't have won that because
the default should always just be who won? Probably America.
Or China.
But no. The MLB season's still going.
I was gonna say they probably just
it's the players probably have to be amateurs. I know
that they're minor leaguers.
They're minor leaguers.
That makes sense. I mean, yeah, but that's does anybody else have much to say about the Olympics? I feel like that's pretty much all there is to say about it. We
won one thing. The closing ceremonies, people used to I think always watch them and talk about it. I feel like there was not much Olympic talk, especially the closing ceremonies.
That's what I was gonna say, Andrew. To me, the whole Olympics this summer kind of felt like an afterthought. I don't maybe that was
it was a lot less grandiose.
Yeah, I totally agree. I don't know what that was about, but maybe we'll get back to normal for Paris.
I just feel like in the past, I've always been so excited when the Olympics are coming up. And this year I was kind of honestly, I don't really care. I'll watch a basketball game. I'll watch a swimming, whatever, swimming match. But I feel like the hype is just not there anymore. So
you just don't care about anything, do you?
It also could have been from summer. It was 2020. If this was last summer, who would have known?
I mean, it's so stupid that they called it 2020, but that's whatever. It was completely in 2021. I don't think we should be in denial about what time it is, but
yeah.
For me, during the Olympics, I was in London, so all the things that came on was just British stuff, and they suck. So it wasn't even like entertaining at all. It's just like watching a country that comes in like 18th place.
That's so sad. That's why, that just makes me appreciate living in America, because at least I had someone to root for in like the top 3 and everything, which is, entertaining to say the least.
Two Vanderbilt Commodores competed and one got gold. I don't know what sports, but
that's freaking awesome, dude. I didn't even know that. But yeah, let's transition to the NFL. The preseason has been getting going, and I think it's just been freaking awesome to watch football. Tim Tebow's block might be the block of the century. What do you guys think?
Dude, I mean, like, we knew this was gonna happen, because if he made the actual 52-man roster, then like that just would have been like the most ridiculous NFL signing. Like, there's real people that are like probably working a job that they shouldn't be, that could play much better football at tight end. Like, dude, like Tebow looks jacked, that's cool, but like that doesn't really matter, in like actual NFL.
His missed block looked like he failed at quarterback, failed at minor league baseball, and then tried tight end and failed at that.
That is hard.
Did you get that off Twitter?
Routes were terrible too.
That is not original. I know that.
It wasn't original. I'll
His routes were terribly run. He couldn't, and like he's a big guy now, but he still doesn't have the mentality to actually be vicious at blocking. So he's just a body that is contributing nothing on the field.
It doesn't look like he has the mental like toughness and grit to be a tight end. He's a quarterback.
You would never talk about an 85 person like on the team if it wasn't Tim Tebow. He was the 5th tight end. Like no one thought anything.
Really
it's cool for publicity.
Since he's Tim Tebow, we give a shit. But like, yeah.
So I wonder if you can buy a jersey, or can you buy a jersey?
You can totally, dude. He was like top 5 in NFL jersey sales
for the Jags.
No, for the league.
For the league.
No, but his Jags jersey was top 5.
I think so.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous, bro. Like,
dude, like that. Honestly, if I'm in the Jaguars front office, I'm like, we're signing this absolute shithole of a tight end because he's gonna get like 10 more fans to come to the.
I mean, it worked.
Yeah.
He stirred up a bunch of
balls. You just lead the prayers like before and after.
Who are we talking about in the Jaguars? It's Tim Tebow and Trevor Lawrence, and that's it. Like Gardner Minshew, I guess. But
they just have some characters on their squad.
I know, it's funny.
I think the Jags will surprise some people. I just think Trevor Lawrence is the real deal, man. Like,
I think he's a winning player. And I also think Trey Lance on the 49ers is the real deal after watching that preseason.
Yeah, he's looking
and Justin Fields looked pretty good against the Dolphins too.
Yeah, Fields as well.
Yeah.
But Zach Wilson, I think, didn't really perform well, did he?
No.
He only threw like 7 passes,
and Zach's the only really super young quarterback that's going to be thrown into the fire right away.
Yeah.
So I'd be nervous about that as a Jet fan.
Yeah, dude, that's always what the Jets do, man. Like Sam Darnold was just as hyped and got thrown in the fire right away. And look at him now. He's on the Panthers. I mean, I guess. Does it work though? We'll see.
What do you guys think about? I've been watching like Hard Knocks lately. It's been pretty exciting to me. But Dak, like, do we think that like he's not going to take a preseason snap, most likely. He's barely thrown at camp. Like, do you think that, like, they're ready to go week 1?
He has to be out of shape.
I think he won't be 100%, but he's still better than a Greg Gilbert, Ben DiNucci, or Andy Dalton.
For sure. But, I mean, they play the Bucs week 1.
If he's at 70% at week 1, do we start Dak over Andy Dalton?
I would.
Andy Dalton's in Chicago.
It's Gilbert.
I was going to say, though, like, the only reason why I have any interest in the Cowboys is just because the NFC East is just so dog shit. Like,
it's not even that great.
It's just like entertaining because like they're literally the favorites to win it. The Cowboys, I'm pretty sure, and like they're such a mediocre squad. Like they have the talent, but like I don't know. It's also interesting to see that like everyone's saying that CD is going to be the number 1 receiver there. Like, what do you guys think about that? Because they're saying CD can be the number 1.
Amari Cooper.
I think like Amari Cooper is a baller, and they're saying he's not going to be.
Cooper has been that guy.
Also, Michael Gallup flies under a lot of people's radars, but he's actually such a good
he's
player.
So dirty in fantasy. That guy puts up like a consistent 17 a week, and I'm always like, you always see him on the scoreboard, like, oh, as somebody's receiver number 2, and he does better than everybody else. You're like, how the hell? Like, who is this guy, and why is he getting all of the points?
He's just a sneaky like. Catches.
He's like a Terry McLaurin, like a little like a budget Terry. I feel like
going off of Hard Knocks, like Dak saw CD have a great catch, and I think he said like he's a great guy to throw to in the post. That's what Amari doesn't have, that big body type of player. Also, Amari hasn't had a lot of like 100+ games the past few seasons.
Yeah, he has
You're
gone
right,
a little quiet, so
That's true.
we'll have to see how he performs. But I don't know, to be honest.
I mean, I think the NFL is just going to be super interesting to watch. A lot of stuff, it's going to be shaken up from last year. I don't like who are we seeing in the Super Bowl? Are we seeing? I think Chiefs maybe could get back there. Are we seeing the
Yeah,
Bucs back there?
So I want to talk about the Chiefs for a second. I'm really excited about them. I mean, like, how can you not be, obviously, with Mahomes? But I think that they did a lot of really good work on their offensive line, and ultimately, like, that's what stopped them from winning this past year. So I think that the Chiefs are going to be around. They're going to be Super Bowl contenders. Like, it seems
Throughout,
like
I feel like throughout
For a
Mahomes'
long
career.
yeah,
Dynasty.
I mean,
It's already a dynasty.
it really
guess
is.
Are they the next
Titans.
Patriots? It's the Chiefs.
The
There's gonna
Titans
be,
this
like-
year could stop them, guys.
There will be
That-
one season where like Mahomes gets injured and like then like they struggle, but then they come back. Like it's just like I feel like it just all plays out. It's gonna be like the Patriots, but like it's the Mahomes era, you know? Like
I think
Andrew, what'd you say about the AFC?
I was saying I think the Titans can stop them this year with their defense and their.
I really like the Titans this year.
Who did the Titans have on defense? So I feel like it only
their
got
defense is
worse.
pretty bad. Their defense is bad.
They're going to be able
I
to
don't know. I
put
think the
40
Titans are
points up a
dangerous. I think
game.
they improved since last year, and I liked them a lot last year.
I know they lost their secondary, but I feel like they've had a decent pass rush. I could be wrong.
They do. They have not had an abysmal pass rush or linebacker core for the past couple of years.
Also,
Like, they've been competitive out in the
They
field.
did
all the
lose
time.
Clowney.
And now they have two elite wideouts, the best runner in the game, the best power rusher in the game, and
And their
Tannehill.
division is dog shit. So.
You guys
Yeah,
know
that's
that
the
wait,
big
I just saw this. Did you guys know the Titans and the Bucks have been having joint practices?
That's pretty
Yeah, a lot of teams do that. I know, like the.
Well, no, I know every team does that, but it's like just interesting that like I feel like those are two teams that could cross paths like at eventually at a point.
Yeah,
you know?
no, I could see that for sure. I think Green Bay, with the last dance kind of narrative going, will be contenders this
Like it.
season. Like they have to be, or else Aaron Rodgers' last year in Green Bay is just gonna be like, okay, whatever, you know. But so I feel like
That would be
that's
also
become-
pretty. I think that'd be pretty fitting for what's
it's
happened.
gonna
to
become
him,
kind of a
Can't
spectacle.
ever sleep on the Seahawks either with Russell Wilson. at
Dude,
the-
but honestly, I was seeing something from like Stephen A. a couple weeks ago where he was like, the Seahawks have completely failed Russell Wilson and they're wasting the last 2 years of his prime. And it's kind of true. Ever
Also,
since
how do you- How do you
the Legion of Boom has fallen apart, they've been absolute dog shit on defense. And they haven't been able to do anything because Russell Wilson is playing like an MVP on offense.
They still make the playoffs every year, like
But are they
Not good enough.
not taken
is it?
that seriously every year?
I mean,
how
Will,
do you
it's
pay,
not-
how do you pay Jamal Adams, make him the highest paid safety in NFL history when one, he's not even a safety, and two, he has less career interceptions than fucking JPP with one hand.
there's a lot of sacks though and a lot of tackles. He just doesn't play that way.
I understand, but also, Will, you can't be like saying, looking at the Seahawks franchise and just being like, yeah, they get to the playoffs. Like at this point,
win it.
as
They
a
win a lot of games though.
this point in a franchise, they should be looking to go further
They
than
can't-
just
they're-
making the
they-
playoffs.
Exactly. They're staying stagnant. They need to elevate. They need to do
develop.
something or else they're wasting his prime, which is what Stephen A was saying. And I think it's reasonable. I think Russell Wilson, if he could get fed up and we could see another like Aaron Rodgers-esque situation, although Russell is kind of a character guy and I feel like he's totally into like loyalty and all that.
But listen, like they're not doing what the Packers did. Like they
Yeah,
drafted
they're not fucking
DK,
up. That's
they
true.
drafted another like high round receiver this year. You know, like they're doing what they can. I agree. I don't think the team's ready yet.
I think if the team wants to, if they want to be actual like full-on contenders, DK needs to figure out how to catch a ball.
Yeah, I
and,
think
like,
it's a little
'Cause
over.
I think Tyler Lockett's like one of the best number 2 receivers in the league. If like you put him as the number 2 compared to, and honestly, you could put him as the number 1 and say DK is just like a big guy. But like, I think everyone considers DK to be the number 1 guy there for receivers. So he's just got to step up. He's got to make the plays when it's one-on-one. Like he can't like have Jalen Ramsey all over his ass and like just destroying him like in 2 division games. Like, you know,
Needs
like
to be a difference maker, is what you're saying.
Guys, talking about like Jalen Ramsey, the Rams, we were talking about quarterbacks that, wasted years of their prime. What do you think about Stafford and the Rams? I think they're a really scary.
I love that team, honestly. Like that's another team. I like kind of could see them in the NFC taking out the Bucks. I could see this Rams team taking out the Bucks. I could see the Packers, if they have a good game, taking out the Bucks. This Rams team is a defensive, they're scary defensively, as they always have
But
been.
they're also dynamic offensively.
Exactly.
Like a
That's what I'm
one-year
saying.
window.
They have an extremely good receiver core. They have Cooper Kupp. They have Brandon. Do they still have Brandon Cooks? Robert Woods?
Robert
Robert
Woods.
Woods.
Brandon Cooks might be somewhere else, but they have Robert Woods still. They have good tight end core, and Stafford, I think, has been the most underrated quarterback in the league for the last entire career. He has had the most do you realize that he has the best stats of all times relative to games
he's a
played?
great quarterback.
It's ridiculous. He just can't.
The thing is he's played for the Lions, who have never done anything. So you look at the team, you look at the team. I understand that, but you look at the team and you're like, well, maybe Stafford's really not that great of a quarterback. But if you look at him individually as a player, he's an amazing quarterback.
He's elite and that's why I think the Rams.
Yeah, they definitely will look dangerous this year. I agree with you.
Will he be clutch though?
Yes.
He's had a lot of comeback wins.
He is the number one guy in the entire league for game-winning drives, he has the most in the entire league over the last 5 seasons or 10 or in his career, or since I always see it because he's done it 30 times. Every time he has a comeback drive opportunity, they always flash it up on Fox Sports.
I think the 49ers are going to be dangerous. I think that division's going to be super entertaining. The NFC West, they're really just who's in the division?
I don't trust Garoppolo though, and I think
Cardinals be the worst team in the division.
49ers, Cardinals.
Cardinals be the worst team in the division, and they're a good team.
Yeah, I think the Niners are gonna start Garoppolo, and I don't trust Garoppolo. If they went Trey Lance from day one, that would be throwing him into the fire a little too early. So I don't know. I don't think this is their season to really take off, but I think next season when Trey Lance gets his footing under him and they play that guy the whole season, I think that they're a real problem. But
I don't know, bro. I think the Niners could really be dangerous. I think the Niners could be dangerous right away.
I don't know. Maybe.
Guys, they went to the Super Bowl 2 years ago, and the reason why last year they were so bad was because Garoppolo got hurt.
No,
and Kittle. They had the most injury-prone team in the league, I think.
Yeah, they had a lot of injury problems.
Garoppolo also made a lot of mistakes and was carried by his run game in that Super Bowl year, and they lost some of that.
No, Garoppolo's not the guy. It would have to be.
No, and that's fun.
That's why
they added
Trey Lance. That's why they drafted.
Yeah.
Who's that guy they have as a running back? Who's a really fast guy?
Mostert.
Yeah, he's a good running back. If they could get back to that dynamic running game, and also
had one other guy.
I would like to see.
They just drafted
Jerick McKinnon. They had Jerick McKinnon as well.
They just drafted Trey Sermon from Ohio State. He was a beast last year.
Really good, yeah.
Yeah, and Shanahan doesn't usually take high round running backs like that. So people are thinking that Sermon's gonna have a really big year. And yeah, I agree with you, Joe. I don't see any reason why the Niners can't do it. What do you guys think about in the AFC? I think the AFC.
I think the Chiefs have it locked up, low key.
Really, but what about the AFC?
Bills.
There's a lot of good teams in that division.
That's true. The Bills are dangerous.
I also think
are dangerous.
I also think regardless,
the Dolphins are dangerous.
The Titans don't have the greatest defense on paper, but they do have an elite offense, and I think when it comes down to it,
good coaching staff too.
I think that they can put up ridiculous numbers on teams, and I think they may be able to beat teams out in shootouts.
And going off,
you can't beat the Chiefs in a shootout, though.
I think you could.
Not necessarily the Chiefs, but I'm saying
I think they have a way better running game than the Chiefs, in my opinion, and I think Derrick Henry can wear them down. And if that defense is choosing between getting punched in the face or them running, double outs with AJ Brown and Julio Jones, and them just mossing their cornerbacks every play, that's a fatiguing offense to deal with. And I think that they could be.
The thing is also a large part of the Titans' success will be how good Julio will actually play. How healthy will he be? Will he be Julio on the Falcons in his prime, Julio? Because if he is, then they literally just got, in my opinion, probably the best receiver in the league because of his stature and everything. To pair that with AJ, and Tannehill's he's been playing better and better each year. If he can just continue to kind of grow in a slow manner, yeah, they're gonna be extremely dangerous. They can get up on teams fast and clock manage the rest of the game. Don't they have Clowney too? If they have Clowney and a decent
No,
pass rush, this is
Oh,
what
they
the
might have
Colts-
lost Clowney, but they have a really
Brownies on the Browns, and that's a team going off of Jacob's question. In the AFC North, I think the Browns are a huge contender, huge Super Bowl contender.
I don't
Their
know.
defense
I
is
don't know if
also really good.
Whenever you
Baker
think the Browns are
Mayfield.
gonna be good, they're gonna suck. That's exactly
Yeah,
how.
see, like I have a great gut feeling about a lot of the teams that we've been talking about, but my whole gut, aura, body, and mind screams at me. Even if you think the Browns are going to be good, I don't trust Baker. Don't trust the Browns.
It's Baker, yeah. It's all Baker. Like
You know, our good friend Jack Sachs is a big Browns fan, so I had to say it. But you never know with Cleveland sports.
Dude,
But
they
seriously,
could be a 14-2 team, and they could be a 7-9 team. And either way, I'd be like, I could have seen that coming.
17
they almost beat the Chiefs
right.
last year, guys.
Yeah, and also don't forget about the Ravens. I mean, like they're one of the best offensive teams year in, year out, and I don't think that they're getting enough credit coming into this year.
Do we ever think Lamar will reach MVP form again, though? I don't know. I think the Ravens team has like come down since that season. Mark Ingram, their hype, like all of it. They're I don't know. I like the Ravens hype kind of is left.
Mark Ingram.
That's what I mean, though. That's what I mean. Everyone's sleeping on the Ravens this year, and I don't want us to do that because
Guys,
they
J.K.
still have
Dobbins.
Lamar.
Sorry, J.K.
Got Dobbins, and they just like retooled their wide receiver core with Sammy Watkins and drafting
They got
Rashad
Watkins.
Minnesota. Yeah.
That's big.
I mean that they have a good team, and they still have one of the best secondaries in the league.
And their whole line's always been good. They got Villanueva from the Steelers, I think like a 6-time Pro Bowler.
Yeah,
The AFC North and the NFC West are the divisions to watch.
absolutely.
I gotta ask you guys, what team will be the most disappointing team this season?
Cowboys.
Steelers.
I don't have personally, I don't have super high expectations for the Cowboys.
I don't either. I think it's
So I have a hot take here. I think that the Bills are going to regress a lot. I think that Josh Allen is going to come back down to
I
earth.
I think that too.
Because I mean, like I've watched Josh Allen every year that he's been a quarterback. Like he looked like a different player last year, and I can see that changing pretty quickly. So I think
he had an insane season, and I respect everything he did, but I don't know if he made that leap, and like that's a leap that you stay at and you progress from, or that's a leap that you kind of fall back down. I mean, obviously we'll
it's
see.
like a Lamar.
Bills really like this is the thing about it's crazy. Like think about this. Josh Allen, 2 years ago, people did not talk about him like he was a good quarterback. They looked at him and they're like, he's a gunslinger. He threw so many picks. He can run whatever. He's big. Then last year, he's an elite quarterback, one of the best quarterbacks in the league, ranked like arguably in the top 3. And they pay him all this money. It's like, I mean, they had to because it was a contract year, but it's kind of tough, like you're putting a lot of money into a guy who had one elite season. You're going to bet that he's going to do it again? He probably will. It's safe to say that, it's like most recently, but like.
I think Bills will be better than the Ravens. Is that a hot take to you guys?
No, that's not a hot take.
Wait, one more thing, Joe, like what you're saying with Josh Allen, when it's not comfortable, like situations and he's down 10 or more in the fourth quarter, he starts being that gunslinger, not being smart. When they're down and they're not playing super well, is he the guy to come back? Yes, he can win and give you a lead. But if the defense isn't playing well and maybe your skill position guys aren't getting open, that is where Jacob's point, I think, really comes into factor. Like, is Josh Allen
they have no run game either. I mean, Josh Allen is the top.
Also, is it Josh Allen or is it Diggs who made him kind of get a little leap?
It's a good question.
I think it was Diggs too, but they do have Emmanuel Sanders. I think that won't really help that much.
I mean, he's okay. He's not as great as he used to be, though. He's like, I don't even know if he's completely quick, like he, is his kind of like niche role on the team. But I just want to really quickly pivot to the team that was literally getting all of the hype until like week 14 last year, the Steelers. They were undefeated for most of last season. Went to the playoffs with extremely high expectations, absolutely fell flat on their face and lost in the first game. And I think that absolutely is going to shatter their morale and be like Big Ben, Mike Tomlin, they're all going to start thinking like, maybe it's up. Maybe our time with this squad has come to an end and we need to sort of refresh. And and I think they're gonna suck.
I hope Najee's good though.
Najee might be good.
I
Najee's
think
such a likable guy.
Najee will be good because he's getting like 30 carries a game and like they
That'd be
can't
so
do
sick.
anything else.
Also,
But yeah, I think Roethlisberger's done. Like you just can't stand back in the pocket all day like you used to. Like I don't think the Steelers
Pass
gonna
rushers
win
are
for
too
the
good. You're
9 games.
playing the Browns, who are gonna rush them so hard 2 times a year.
Yeah.
Like it's just I don't see. I don't know. I just don't really see
Guys, like from a personnel, they're not anything special, but it's Mike Tomlin. He's never had a losing season. It's like 12 seasons there. That's why I think they're always going to be very solid. Like, yes, I don't think they'll have as hot of a year as last year, but totally I see them, making the playoffs again, probably losing the wild card. That's why I can't say they're going to be such a big sleeper because Mike Tomlin is just so consistent.
Honestly, my hot take, and this is a pretty hot take, I think the Bears win the division.
That's hot. That's steamy.
Who's quarterback with this take?
Those Lions.
That's
Justin Fields.
That's a pipe and
Bears over Green Bay, Joe.
I think Green Bay folds and shits the bed.
Dude,
I think Aaron Rodgers leaves that team with a salty feeling in his mouth, and I think the Bears are going to be a very good defensive team, and I think that Montgomery is going to have a really, really good season. I think he's gonna shine, and I think they got a lot of guys on their team with chips on their shoulders that want to shine. Like I think Trubisky was a bum, and he still is a bum. So
I'm going to argue with you there.
I don't know. I feel like Rodgers is kind of going into this season like realistically, whatever happens, I'm kind of done. And I think with that knowledge in his head, I don't think he's just gonna like half-ass the season. You know what I mean? Like I think this is gonna potentially be one of his best seasons.
I think he has something to prove.
I think he's just gonna go play so hard with
that
the knowledge
no
that
one
like
can deny.
whatever happens, like if my defense gives out, then that's not on me. At least I put all my effort into it. And I think Rodgers at his best is like skill-wise is arguably one of the best quarterbacks in the league. So
of all time.
Of
And
all
one more
time.
thing, with the Bears, I just don't know if Justin Fields, as electrifying as he is, reading NFL coverages, I don't think he can win a division
I
the
could
first.
see it. I would love it. I mean, I think their defense is just so good. Their offense has a lot of weapons. Allen Robinson's just been waiting for someone to throw him the ball that's competent. And that could be, he could be the piece that puts it all together, because this Bears team was definitely not like one that's not competitive last season. So I don't know.
I mean, don't we also have to see what is Nagy still their coach?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll probably have to see what he does with Dalton and Fields. I don't know if he released any kind of like we're gonna do this and this, but
I think Dalton's the starter right now.
no, yeah, I know that, but I'm saying like it depends how long like it takes Fields to start playing, because I don't think Dalton's a great quarterback. I think realistically they'll lose more games than they win.
And they're going to
with
start him first for sure.
It'll be a Tua-like situation that where I think he'll come
Agreed.
by week 4.
Maybe 6.
But
I could
again,
see like 6.
he's been playing pretty well in preseason. Everything changes once the season
Yeah,
starts.
it's kind of all conjecture at this point. We're kind of just projecting. We don't know what these teams' internal plans are. And honestly, all we can really do at the end of the day is watch the football, which is what we're all super excited to do. So that's why we just spent a ton of time talking about it. But
yeah,
you're
so
watching-
also
go ahead.
We're gonna do another episode probably in the coming weeks about just like really when some more preseason games fall into place, so we can kind of have like, because we've been saying a lot of shit, but like not that many claims to back it. So we're gonna have all our claims. We did this with the NBA, who your sleepers are, all this. We're gonna go through that next week. But I don't know if anyone else wants anything to say, but we'll see you guys.
Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe. Please like. Please check out our website. We have new articles going up all the time. Stuff on Atlanta sports and their rise in the last couple of years. We have stuff on Vandy sports coming out soon. We have stuff on sleepers in the NFL and the NBA. Tons of content there. So check out our website. Subscribe to our channel. Like the video. And thanks for watching. Peace out, guys.